What happens to your body if you don't sleep for an entire week? Not one bad night. Not, I'm running on coffee, tired. I mean, 7 full days without closing your eyes. Sounds impossible, right? Well, someone actually did it, and what happened to their body and brain is stranger than you'd expect. Let's start with something you already know. After just one night without sleep, your reaction time slows down. Your brain starts working like you've had a few drinks, except you didn't. Studies show that being awake for 24 hours straight impairs you about as much as being legally drunk. Scary thought, considering how many people pull all-nighters and then drive home. But that's just day one. Let's keep going. By 36 hours, things start to shift. Your body begins releasing more cortisol, the stress hormone, and your immune system starts to weaken. Your mood becomes unpredictable. One minute you're fine, the next you're irritated over nothing. And here's where it gets weird. Some people start experiencing minor hallucinations, not full-blown visions, more like catching movement in the corner of your eye that isn't actually there. Now we hit 48 hours, 2 full days without sleep. Your brain is desperate for rest, and it starts doing something bizarre called micro sleeps. These are tiny naps, sometimes just a second or two, that your brain forces on you without your permission. You might be standing, talking, even walking, and for a split second, part of your brain simply shuts off. You won't even notice it happening. By the 72-hour mark, that's 3 days, the hallucinations become impossible to ignore. People report seeing shapes, shadows, sometimes even full scenes that aren't there. Your ability to think logically collapses. Simple math becomes a struggle. Conversations stop making sense. Your emotional control basically disappears. Now here's where it gets genuinely unsettling. Between 4 and 7 days of no sleep, some people begin to experience symptoms that look eerily similar to psychosis. Paranoia sets in. Your hands start to tremble. Speech becomes slurred and disorganized. Your sense of reality starts to blur at the edges. So, could you actually die from staying awake for a week? Here's the surprising part. There's no documented case of a healthy person dying purely from a week of sleep deprivation. The longest scientifically recorded case of intentional sleep deprivation belongs to a teenager named Randy Gardner, who in 1964 stayed awake for 11 days straight as part of a science fair experiment. Researchers monitored him the entire time. By the end, he was hallucinating, paranoid, and struggling to form coherent sentences. But here's the twist. After he finally slept, he made a full recovery. No lasting brain damage, no permanent harm. That said, don't take this as an invitation to try it yourself. Chronic, repeated sleep deprivation is linked to serious long-term risks: heart disease, weakened immunity, memory problems, and a higher risk of accidents. Your body might survive short-term sleep loss, but it's not something to test on purpose. And here's the question that keeps scientists up at night, pun intended. We still don't fully know why sleep is so essential. We know it repairs muscles, consolidates memories, clears toxins from the brain, and resets your nervous system. But the exact reason evolution designed us to spend a third of our lives unconscious and vulnerable, that's still one of biology's biggest unanswered questions. Think about that for a second. We understand black holes better than we understand why we sleep. There's also something fascinating happening inside your skull during all of this. Your brain has a built-in cleaning system called the glymphatic system, and it mainly kicks into gear while you're asleep. It flushes out waste products, including a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. So every night you skip, that cleanup crew doesn't finish its job. Some researchers believe this is one reason chronic sleep deprivation is connected to long-term cognitive decline. And it's not just your brain taking the hit. Your ability to regulate blood sugar drops sharply after just a few sleepless nights, which is why exhausted people often crave sugary, high-calorie food. The body is searching for a quick energy fix. Your appetite hormones flip too. The one that makes you hungry rises, while the one that tells you you're full drops. That's a big part of why sleep-deprived people overeat. So next time you're tempted to sacrifice sleep for one more episode, one more scroll, one more hour of work, remember what your brain and body go through when you deny them rest. It's not just tiredness. It's your entire system slowly losing its grip on reality. If this blew your mind, imagine what happens to your body during a total food fast, or what your brain does in the final moments before you fall asleep. Hit subscribe because we're diving into that next.